Hey cruisers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm taking you aboard the beautiful Symphony of the Seas for a ship tour throughout the entire ship. I take you through every deck from deck 3 all the way through deck 17, and I show you every nook and cranny on board. Now before we get started, I will say that can take quite a while. This video actually had 3 hours worth of footage that I've condensed down to an hour. But an hour is still a long time. So if there's something specific that you want to see, maybe you want to see a certain restaurant, or you want to see what Central Park or the Boardwalk looks like, whatever the case is, I'm going to have chapters and time codes here for you. They'll be in the description as well. That way you can just click and go see the things that you're interested in. Maybe you don't want to see every deck from the bottom all the way up, and that's totally understandable because this is a lot of footage. But if you do, that's fine too. Join me for the ride as we go through the beautiful Symphony of the Seas. So let's jump into the tour right now. Okay, let's kick this thing off with deck 3. As you can see, you have your main dining room in the rear. Then you have a few staterooms that kind of flank the conference center on either side, the elevators, and nothing up front because that's underneath the stage. Now this is main dining room 3, and you can see from that circle, there's actually a 3 on it letting you know. So here's the entrance to it. And this is how you walk in. You'd go to one of these desks, let them know that you're here for your reservation if you have reservations, and they'll take you to your table, or you can check in for your My Time dining there. This is like a little waiting area right in the lobby. And then as you walk in, you can see it's a huge dining room. Obviously this ship has tons of people on it, and it actually spans 3 decks. So this is a good look down from the chandelier all the way down. We can see just how big this dining room actually is. And down there, that is deck 3. This footage is being taken from deck 5 just to give you guys a sense of scale for how big the main dining room is. It is massive. Leaving the dining room and turn around, you're at the elevators, and you would have to walk down a hallway to get to this business center, so through the staterooms. And you walk in, and really there's just like 4 rooms down this hallway on either side, and then the big conference room. That's really it that's down here, and you have to reserve those spaces ahead of time. As you turn around, you're at the forward elevators, and that's all there is on deck 3. Looking at our layout for deck 4, you have your dining room. Izumi's is right off of that, as you can see. The casino, you can wrap around to either side of that to get to the ice rink, which is Studio B. You have the non-smoking casino, the attic, the Crown Lounge, and then the Royal Theater. So here's a good look. That is from the casino, but as we turn around, this is the very forward end of the ship at the Royal Theater. So let's go take a look at the inside of the Royal Theater and show you guys exactly what this looks like. Now remember, Symphony of the Seas can hold 6,680 people when at full capacity. Most of the time it's selling with around 5,800 people, but because of that, they needed a massive theater, and this theater definitely does that. This is a 1,400 plus seat theater, and I'll show you. We'll actually walk down there in a second and give you a view. So this is kind of the orchestra level. As we walk down there, we'll turn around and look at the mezzanine, but you'll see this has a ton of seating, which is great because they do multiple performances of each show, and you can see, boom, tons of seating. And with multiple performances, you're very likely to be able to see what you want to see on board, which is awesome to have when you're on one of these sailings and wanting to see one of these shows. So let's go ahead and make our way out of the theater and start heading to see the rest of deck 4 from the forward end towards the aft end. So as you come out of the theater, there is this little walkway bridge that we can walk across. You're going to be walking towards this lollipop statue. That's how you know you're making your way aft. And this is where a lot of the other entertainment starts. It's very centralized right here. So one of the first things you're going to come to is you're going to come to the non-smoking casino. This is a very small room right here. It has a few dozen slot machines and just a few tables. It's not very big, but if you're a gambler who doesn't like smoking or being around smoking, there is an option for you on board. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's not huge, but if you're a slot player, there are a decent amount of options for you there. As you turn around from that, walking back towards a lollipop, the theater is on our right. if we continue walking straight, we're going to come to the attic. And the attic is like a comedy club. It's just a smaller venue they have on board. And I say it's like a comedy club because that's what we saw there. When we went, they were having comedy. They also do musical performances or karaoke there from time to time. This is the main entrance here on the right. However, when we went to the comedy show, because reservations were required, they brought us in through this door on the side, and there was a table set up here with people checking your tickets right there. So just know those are the two entrances to the attic if you're going to a performance there. Continuing our way aft, you can see the artwork is already starting here. This is Park West displaying it. But first we have the Crown Lounge. So the Crown Lounge is anything from Diamond and above can use it most of the time. Sometimes they will say there's too many Pinnacles or too many high-end cruisers on board, and so only Diamond Plus and above can use it. But basically, it's a free lounge for the loyalty members that have reached Diamond status or above. You can see they have different kinds of snacks and foods. You can get coffees, lattes, stuff like that in here. They also have a concierge there, so it's a nice feature. Now, the Park West Gallery is on the right side of Studio B. When you're facing the doors, they have these posted here. But you can see there's a hallway to my left that said Casino Royale, or there's a hallway to my right, and that will also take you to the casino, but you're going to walk through the art gallery first. You can see it says Park West on the wall. But first, let's go into Studio B and let's go catch an ice skating show and see what that's all about. Now the show on board is really cool. There was drones, there was light shows. It was kind of hard to keep up with the story, but the skaters were really, really good at what they did. So it's definitely worth going to see. I mean, you would pay good money to see this off the ship. It's included with the affair, so definitely a thing to check out. Working our way towards the casino on the right-hand side, just so you can see the Park West Gallery, you'll see here you have all the different paintings from the Park West artists that they have, and they'll have them displayed down the hallway. They also have way more paintings that aren't displayed that they put up during the art auction. If you're an art collector, you can always go to the art auction there if you like one of their specific artists, or maybe just one of these paintings strikes your fancy. This is the desk here on your left where the Park West employees sit in these cubicles, and they'll be happy to sell you something. We'll speed this up, and now we're going to do a quick tour of the casino. This is walking in, and remember, this is the full casino, so there is smoking here, and it can tend to get a little smoky, at least on the sailing that we were at. But the good news is, as you can see, it is huge. There are just tables for days, slots for days. I mean, we never had trouble finding a machine that we wanted to play at. People we were with never had trouble getting space at a table. And then the bar's right here in the middle. Just the general size of the casino is perfect for this size ship. You really just aren't going to have a problem. Even on formal night, which tends to be a more popular night in the casino, it was no problem. Now, instead of going to the elevators this way, we're going to cheat to the left and go down the middle. Just so you can see, there's one more bridge here. And then this is going to take you to the main dining room on deck 4. You'll see the little circle logo looks exactly the same as it did on deck 3, except it has a 4. So that's how you can kind of gauge where you're at if you're not sure. Now to the right of this, you get to Izumi's. This is one of the few specialty restaurants that are not in Central Park. This is on deck 4. This is their teppanyaki and sushi restaurant, and we actually ate here twice. The sushi was really good. The ramen was pretty good. The udon noodles were good. I mean, if you're curious to see, we did a full review on all the specialty dining on board Symphony of the Seas, and I'll put it up here. And here's some staff members saying hi from the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. So let's get started with deck 5. As you can see from the rear, you have the main dining room. This is the last floor of that. Bionic bar, guest services, next cruise, cafe promenade, Sorrentos, Boleros, on air, the pub, all that stuff in the Royal Promenade, and then the Royal Theater up front. You also have the Rising Tide Bar and a Starbucks. So let's go ahead and head that way so you guys can get an idea of what this looks like. So yes, main dining room, you can see the 5 in the circle there. I've already shown you what that looks like, so let's keep moving. This is the first deck that you can walk outside on, and this is where the actual walking or jogging track is going to be located. It goes all the way around the ship. You wave your hand in front of this little green sensor here, boop, and it opens the doors for you. And then here is your jogging and walking track that goes all the way around the entire ship. It is huge, so if you're looking for a space to get out and jog or walk without being interrupted, that's a great way. And directly ahead of me there, you can see the reflection in the glass. That's the other door to the other side of the jogging track. It's literally around the entire ship. So let's go ahead and get to the Royal Promenade. So you can cross the bridge here, working our way from the aft to the forward end. One of the first things you're going to come to on your left is the Voom desk. This is their internet service help desk. This is where you can buy internet if you haven't bought it through the app, or if you're having trouble connecting, they can help you get it right here. You also have your shore excursion tablets down here. Now, this isn't the only place to do that. One deck up, they actually have the full shore excursion area with staff members there to help you if you're running into a snag, or maybe you have questions about a shore excursion. To the right of this is going to be the famous Bionic bar, a robot bar where you order on a tablet, and then as you can see, these robots literally go and make your drink. To me, this is much more of an experience than it is a bar I'm gonna go to every single night. It's very cool to see it done. The drinks do feel like they cost a little bit more. Maybe they don't, maybe it's just psychosomatic, but I do feel like it's not worth it. You can see the hours of operation there for our cruise, but honestly, as cool as it is, I'd rather just have a drink from another bartender. Moving on, we come to the Rising Tide Bar. This bar actually goes from the Royal Promenade all the way up to deck 8, which is Central Park, and then back down. So it's a cool place. You can ride with some friends, have some drinks, and go from deck 5 to deck 8 in a very chill, relaxed manner. As you can see, it goes all the way up on these tracks, and bing, the doors open, you're on deck 8. Very cool. Right behind it, you can see we have guest services. To the left is a Regalia jewelry store where you can see they have all their watches. And then to the right, we have Cafe Promenade. Behind me is the collection. This has stuff like Kate Spade and other purses and stuff in there. Sorry, I'm not up on my purse brands here. You have Cafe Promenade. This is a free included spot. You can get drinks, basic coffees. You can pay for Starbucks coffee there if you wanted to, or you can get little pastries, finger foods, or snacks there throughout the day. Then you're gonna have Next Cruise on your right. This is where you can plan future cruises on board. Many times they will give you onboard credit, and if you use a travel agent like Amy, they can actually take that and stack their promotions on top of that. So she always encourages clients to book on board and then transfer to their travel agent. Then you have the shop. The shop is Royal Caribbean's branded store. So everything in there is going to be Royal Caribbean branded merchandise. And above it is a little stage where they hold performances. They'll have people either playing music or dancing throughout the evening there. On your right, you have Sorrento's Pizza. Sorrento's Pizza is another included restaurant. If you have those refillable cups because of the drink package, you can use them at those soda machines. Then on the left, you're going to have your English pub, the Copper and Kettle. Here they're going to have your live like acoustic guitar player, and it's just that English pub vibe. They do have some food here as well. This is not included. This is something that you would pay to go to, buy the drinks, buy the snacks or the food that you're eating here, listen to a musician play some music, and just enjoy your evening. Working our way back out of the Copper and Kettle, you start seeing these little islands here where they do sell merchandise, and you can see some more seating for Sorrento's behind it. A lot of times they'll have their shirt sales here, or they'll have their watch sales there. You can see there's a Regalia store on the right. That's the rest of the Regalia that's not watches. You have your port merchants here. It's where they're going to sell your random stuff, your liquors, your sunscreens, like just random stuff you might need on board. All of that's going to be duty free. Like I said, Regalia, this is the rest of the jewelry that is not the watches. The watches are at the other side. I don't know why they separated it, but they did. Then you have a beauty store on board. Next to that is On Air. This is where the bulk of the karaoke happens. It's actually like a little studio with a little stage. So we'll walk in there just so you can get an idea of what that looks like. So as you walk in, you have the little DJ booth that they run the karaoke from. You'll see there's a little bit of seating, not a ton. It's not a huge venue. They do have a bar, and then boom, there's your stage where you can rock the world with your amazing voice, maybe be found by your producer and be famous. Across the way is Boleros behind this really cool looking statue. That is their Spanish themed lounge. Many times you're gonna have Latin dance night or Latin music going on in there. They do have a bar in there as well. It's just a very chill lounge setting until they start playing like salsa or something a little more upbeat and people start dancing, but it is a really nice lounge, especially during the day. As you can see, there's like nobody here during the day. So if you're just looking for a quiet place to go read, this is a great spot. If you're into salsa, merengue, bachata, you want to just go dance, cumbia, this is a great place to come. Here's some live Latin music and get to play and enjoy and dance the night away. Behind us is going to be Starbucks. It is a standalone Starbucks on board. This is not included. You do have to pay for anything there. If you have the deluxe beverage package, Starbucks is included, but not the pastries. There's also a little stairwell here that'll take you back down to Entertainment Place, where Studio B, the casino, and the first floor of the Royal Theater all are. And there's that lollipop we saw earlier, just for a visual landmark. As we continue forward, you get to the second floor of the Royal Theater. I can't show you it right now because rehearsals are going on. Jumping up to deck 6, we have the AquaTheater, the Boardwalk with Playmakers, Johnny Rockets, Sugar Beach, the Dog House, as well as the Schooner Bar, Shore Excursions, the Photo Gallery, and then the Spa and Fitness Center with some rooms off to the side, as you can see. So starting at the very front, we have Vitality at Sea, the Spa and Fitness Center. So as you come in here, there's also a cafe right here on your right. Again, this is not included unless you have the deluxe drink package, but there is a place to come here and get protein shakes or smoothies if that's something that you're wanting to do. You can also, pro tip, get your Starbucks drinks here. So if you look back from the salon, you can see where the cafe was. On the left side, if you stay left, you're going to get to the hallway that takes you to the gym. The right is the hallway that's going to take you to the treatment rooms for the spa. The gym has a ton of cardio equipment. So if you're looking to do some cardio on board, there's tons of equipment here for that. However, as you'll see here, there is not that much in the way of machines or free weights. That's really it right there. And then as you can see on the other side, there's more cardio. And in the middle there where you see that little round circle, there's just an open space for like yoga stretching. As you can see here, there is no bridge to cut across on deck 6. So you have to walk through a hallway to get to the other side where the rooms are. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to speed this up. We're at the other end now, and I want you to know that from one lobby to the other lobby took me about 200 paces, so that's how long the ship is, if you're wondering. As we come through and we cut through the elevator lobby, we can walk straight ahead and get to the Schooner Bar, also where the loyalty desk is on our left. So you can see that there on our left. We'll tour that here in a moment. But here you have a great view overlooking the promenade. So if there's a parade or a show going on, you can see it from here. To my right, as I pan around, you'll see you have the Focus Gallery over there, which is where you can buy your pictures on board, and the Shore Excursion place I was telling you about when we were one deck down. So you can see there's more Shore Excursion tablets here. There's also going to be staff here to help you with your Shore Excursions if you have questions or you're trying to go through and buy it. These tablets are extremely simple to use, so it's very user-friendly. No big deal. They do sell GoPro items here if you're interested. And this side is the Focus Gallery where you can tap your card and look through the pictures, buy your pictures, or pay for time in the portrait studio if you want to do family portraits on board. Walking back across, we're going to get to the loyalty desk. That is where your Crown and Anchor ambassador will meet you if you want to meet with them during their opening hours. You can talk about the Crown and Anchor program, join it, any of that stuff there. And the rest of this space is all the Schooner Bar seating area. And there's quite a bit of seating here, but I will say this does fill up fast. Schooner Bar is one of the more popular bars on board the ships. This is the actual bar here. You don't have to walk up to it as they do have bartenders roving the entire time. So if you're sitting here, they will come get you and get a drink for you, bring it back to you so you can just enjoy trivia or whatever else is going on. They tend to have piano players here a lot as well. And then off of this is that stage. You can kind of see it like right there. And that's the stage where they will have performances. So this is another great angle to catch shows on the Royal Promenade from if you don't want to be in the crowd down below. Just a cool option that you have. Scanning across, we're going to continue looking back, and then we are going to start to make our way all the way aft to the Boardwalk. So the Boardwalk is another one of the neighborhoods on board. The Royal Promenade was one, this is another, and the Boardwalk is going to be basically a kid's wonderland. It's very reminiscent of like a boardwalk up north with your merry-go-round and your ice cream shops, stuff like that. So as we come out, you're going to see they're all themed the same on the Oasis class ships. You're going to have like the horses here like being carved in different phases from one block to a little more detailed all the way up to the carousel horse for the carousel. Then as you walk out, you can see you have Doghouse on your left, and then you have this mini arcade here, which don't worry is not the full arcade. Doghouse is an included restaurant on board. It's open during lunch and dinner time, and it's not exactly like a huge offering as you can see here, but you can get two different types of buns. You can get a classic or an everything bun. You can pick your type of dog. You can get sauerkraut or onions on it, coleslaw or potato salad. And that's really it, but it's free and it's right here. So if your kids are on the merry-go-round or they're playing out here and they don't want to leave, this is a great way to get a cheap, easy snack because it's free. Behind that, you do have the merry-go-round, my daughter's favorite thing on board. She would just ride this all day nonstop if she could. This is also included and free. Then you have an arcade here. This is not the only arcade on board, but this is a small arcade right here off the Boardwalk. And when I say small, I mean small. You can see like this is the entirety of it. 3 skee ball machines here and just a couple of, claw machines, a couple racing things, and a duck machine, I think. And that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, that's it. And then this is going to dump straight into Playmakers right behind us. This duck machine, by the way, it's a guaranteed win. So if your kid wants a duck, you can pay for one here and they can just keep going until they win. It's not a, just take your money type claw machine like we're all used to. So you have those where you can get stuffed animals. This one has higher end prizes. I've never seen anybody play it, so I have no idea how hard or easy it is to win. I think you can claim tickets on that machine, not play it. But as you head straight, now we're going to come into Playmakers. And Playmakers is their sports bar themed area. You can see there's tons of TV screens here. There's tons of tables here to play games at. There's seating. So if you wanted to catch a specific sporting event, especially if it's a bigger sporting event, it'll very likely be on the screens here. This is not included though. You're going to have to buy your drinks and you're going to have to buy your food here unless you have the unlimited dining or the unlimited beverage package. The unlimited dining package only covers up to about $20 here though, so don't go buying one of everything. It is limited as to what you can order and how much of it. But we really like Playmakers. Their poke nachos are awesome. We usually eat here at least once a cruise. As you come out of Playmakers, directly across from it is going to be Johnny Rockets. It's an American diner experience from like the 50s. You can get your malts, shakes, little burgers, fries there. Nothing too crazy. It's okay, but it's not included and it is a paid for restaurant. Here you have the bottom of the ultimate abyss, a slide that drops down 10 stories, so 10 decks all the way from up there. And I'll show you what the top looks like. It's pretty cool. It's not a water slide. You get in these sacks and slide down. It's actually a pretty fun experience. That is included and it's not open all the time as you can see. So you're gonna wanna check the times and see when would be a good time for you to do that. Right outside of Johnny Rockets, you do have this climber wall for the little children. It's actually pretty fun for them, and that netting just protects them from falling off. Then we get to the very aft of the ship, which is where the AquaTheater is. We saw Hari on here, or Hero, I believe it's called, and it was an epic show. It's a Japanese themed show. They do water, they do acrobatics, they do all sorts of cool stuff. Here's some clips from the show that you guys can see. I mean, the costumes are really cool. There's diving, there's high lines, there's acrobatics, there's people diving from these platforms, those platforms, and even these platforms all the way up here, which is crazy high, especially when the ship's rocking and moving at sea. You do have these really fancy balconies off the back. They're AquaTheater balconies, AquaTheater suites. Amy can book those for you if you'd like. And then the rock wall is on both sides of the AquaTheater, so you could technically be climbing and getting views of the Aqua Show if they're open at the same time, or you can climb up and look across the water and see, like this guy does here, and just get to the bell, ring the bell. It's actually another free experience. It's very fun. It's included. You've paid for it. Go give it a try. Looking back, you can see these are boardwalk balconies overlooking the boardwalk. They can be loud. We've sailed in them before, especially at night when the AquaTheater shows are going. So take that into account. And the closer you book towards the merry-go-round, the more you're going to hear that music on that end. So just kind of balance that out for yourself. Maybe you want to be able to overlook this and not the ocean, and this is a great option for you. Just know there's going to be times when it's louder than others. As we continue our tour on the way down, you'll see on the right-hand side is going to be the Surf Shack. And this is just going to be like a beach surf store with like cover-ups and tote bags and t-shirts and just random stuff like that. Nothing real crazy. And then we're back to Sugar Beach. Sugar Beach is basically a sugar overload for your child. It's candy and cotton candy and ice cream and just all of the things to just overwhelm your child's system with as much sugar as possible so that they can crash later and maybe sleep. I guess that's the point of this, but it is not included. You do have to pay for that. And then you're back at the merry-go-rounds where we started, and we'll just work our way back out of here. And that's going to be everything on deck 6. So from here, we're going to go ahead and head up to deck number 7. On deck number 7, there are no public spaces. As you can see, front to back, all staterooms, nothing to see here. Let's continue on up to deck 8. As you get to deck 8, you can see there's staterooms, but then we have Dazzles, which is a really small club I'll show you now. And then the other neighborhood, Central Park, as well as your specialty restaurants, some minor shopping, and then some more staterooms. So you can see you have Chops, Park Cafe, Jamie's. We'll go through that in a minute. Let's start with Dazzles here. So Dazzles is kind of like a jazz club setup. We saw the Symphony of the Seas like brass section here. They were doing an Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute night, which is really cool. But as you can see, there's not a ton of seating here. So while the venue is a cool layout, it fills up extremely fast. And there is a second story to Dazzles above us that I can kind of pan over. I'll show you here. This is the bar. And then above us, you can see those columns are supporting the second story. It overlooks the boardwalk. But even with the second story seating, there's just not enough seating here. As you can see, the wall is right behind that one row of chairs. So this fills up extremely fast. So if there's something happening in Dazzles that you want to see, get there early and get a seat, because as you can tell, like this is going to fill up quick and it's going to be standing room only, just like it was for the Earth, Wind, and Fire show that we tried to go to. All right, let's head on back and make our way through Central Park, one of the coolest spots on the ship if you ask me. From the elevator lobby, you walk through the doors, and this is going to take you to beautiful Central Park. Central Park is amazing, and people may not have realized this, but all of the plants that you see here are real. Central Park has over 20,000 live tropical plants on board. Up until literally yesterday when I was recording this video, Central Park was the hub for hiding ducks, and you can see why. People loved hiding them. Yesterday though, Royal Caribbean announced that they are no longer allowing people to hide ducks here because people were climbing through the plants, tearing up plants to get to ducks. So hiding ducks in Central Park is now banned. That little hut in the center here, that is actually the rising tide bar, and we're gonna start by working our way to the left, and that is Chop's Grille. Like I said earlier, almost all of your specialty dining is gonna be here in Central Park, other than Izumi's and Wonderland and Hooked. Those are the only options that are not. So let's go ahead and start with Chop's Grille. Chop's Grille is an American style steakhouse. It's a slightly elevated experience. This is not included, specialty dining, but here's a quick walkthrough so you can see what it looks like. If you do come here, I highly recommend the Gruyere and bacon tots. They are really good. It's family style sides, so you can just order whichever ones you want and they'll come to the table. The steaks have always been good here. You know, this isn't your $300 steakhouse or your $400 steakhouse. This is about $60 a person on the sailing, depending on when you book it. Sometimes you can catch a deal that's even better than that. So making our way back out of Chops, we'll continue heading down. And here's the exit to the rising tide bar just outside of Chops, and it also dumps out on the other side. As you can see, the first departure starts at 4 o'clock, and they run about every 30 minutes. As we walk around the rising tide bar, we get to my personal favorite on board, 150 Central Park. It is called 150 Central Park because it is 150 from either end of the ship, so it's dead center and it's in Central Park. This is an elevated American cuisine dining experience. I love it. To me, the lobster thermidor is one of the best meals you can have on board. Their artisanal cheese selection for dessert is great. The honey seared scallops are fantastic. I mean, this is a great restaurant. And here's an idea of the menu for you just so you can kind of see. Awesome. As we continue down Central Park, walking towards the other end of the ship, we come to the Trellis Bar. This is the only bar in Central Park. It's not very big, but it also doesn't get very busy in my experience. So you can come here, get drinks that you want at any time of the day. This is early morning when we're filming, so there's nobody there now. They have a little covered like pathway over there with just some benches. There's nothing else on that side. But it is a nice place where you can go find a bench and sit in the shade, or just walk through and find a peaceful, relaxing place, listen to the artificial bird sounds being pumped in. Then we get to Park Cafe. This is actually an included restaurant, which is really nice. So when you come in here, it's more of a grab and go type atmosphere. It's not like a person's gonna come and serve you, but this is gonna have your fruits, your yogurts, some milk. You're gonna have some desserts, some pastries. You'll have sandwiches. You can have a salad bar. You can see over here, they can make you like bagels if you're looking for bagels in the morning. I mean, just a ton of options. This is all included. There's also juice, coffee, and water here. So it's a great little place to come get some light snacks or a small meal throughout the day. And it's included, which is very hard to beat. So from here, we'll head back out, go back and finish our tour of Central Park. So as we come out, you see this little stage area directly in front of me. They like to hold concerts out here underneath these little covered overhangs. They'll move those chairs and set up stages on one side. You'll have performers playing music. And then we come to Jamie's Italian. This is Jamie Oliver's Italian restaurant on board. Some Royal Caribbean ships have a Giovanni's on board. Some of them have Jamie's Italian. This one has Jamie's, as you can see here. It is your typical Italian restaurant, very pasta forward. You can get some meats here. They have a separate lunch and a separate dinner menu. It's okay, not my favorite. It's not included, and you do have to pay for it. The next thing you come across is Vintages. Vintages is their wine bar on board. You can do wine tastings here. Today they're doing a taste of Italy where they're giving you a taste of Italian wines, but that is a paid for event. They do have a decent wine selection on board. It's not a huge or a great wine selection on board, but this is a place you can come to have a quiet, relaxing moment and have a glass of wine with your friends or family. And then you just have some shopping, Bulgari, Hublot, Cartier on the other side, just some more high-end shopping options for you. And that's it. This is going to be everything in Central Park. So now we can head back inside the ship. As we come in, you'll see there are no public spaces on the forward end of deck 8. It's just going to be staterooms down both sides. This is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and make our way up the stairs and go to deck 9. Deck 9 has a second story of Dazzles, which I'm not going to show you. I already showed you that, but no other public spaces. So we're not going to just walk through the hallways. We're going to go ahead and head up to deck 10, which also has no public spaces, as you can see. So we're going to head up to deck 11. Deck 11 has the first floor of Wonderland, but you can't get to it from here. No other public spaces, so we'll continue our way up to deck 12. Deck 12, we have Wonderland, which is a specialty dining restaurant, and no other public spaces. So let's go ahead and show you Wonderland right now. Wonderland, they've branded an Imaginative Cuisine. This is Alice in Wonderland themed. So you come in, you go down the rabbit hole through this fancy ornate door, and everything is just very like fantastically themed. It's really cool. It's very like immersive. You can see this really neat chandelier. You have the rabbit ears on the chairs. It's a really cool restaurant. To me, this restaurant is really about the experience of it, not necessarily the quantity of the food or the quality of the food. It's just a really cool way they present the food. Everything is presented in a different manner than you would expect. If you're curious to see what that looks like I said, go back and check out our specialty dining review video. Highly recommend it once, but it is not included. You do have to pay for it. Now we're going to jump up to deck 14, and you may be asking, why not 13? There is no deck 13. So this deck only has the card room in the aft, Adventure Ocean, and the Puzzle Breaker Center, and the solarium in the front. Everything else is going to be staterooms. So let's go check out Seven of Hearts, the card room. As we walk in, you'll see they do still have a computer center in here. Kind of seems like a waste. I don't think I've seen anybody ever on these. A bunch of card tables for you to play cards at. Then you have the weakest library at sea. You can see there's literally a dozen, maybe 24 books there. You do have some chess tables, some checkers tables, and then you do have 2 shelves as you walked in, bookshelves with board games on them, and even that is a very meager selection. However, we're on a cruise ship. There's so much more to do, so I'm not going to hold this in too much of a disdain. Let's continue moving on and go see the front of deck 14. So we come to Puzzle Breaker Center. On this ship, it's actually a submarine themed escape room. So we have some footage of that here, so let's go ahead and go in. We did the escape room on the ship. It was really fun. This is Rodrigo. He is fantastic from Italy, made it super fun. And this is just kind of what it looks like. I don't want to ruin all the surprises for you guys as far as what you need to do so that you can solve the puzzle. But I'm just going to give you some views around the room. And this was really neat, a really fun thing. You can see we were paired with people that we didn't know, which made it a little more interesting, trying to solve the riddles and figure out all the clues in this room. And Rodrigo is great. If we ever did get fully stumped, he would kind of coach you into a clue so that you could use that clue to figure it out rather than just tell you, and then you don't really have to learn or figure things out. And as you can see, we saved the world, so that was fun. And this was a great time, so definitely something I recommend trying if you're looking for a new experience on board Symphony. If you haven't done one of these before, shout out Rodrigo. Adventure Ocean is the kids area on board. If your child is 3 and above, this is free. If your child is under 3 years old, you do have to pay for Royal Babies and Tots. They do break them up by age, so you can see here Voyagers is 9 to 11, Explorers is up to age 9, starting at age 6, and then Aquanauts is 3 to 6. Behind that, they also have a movie theater, which is really cool on board. It's actually a decent size, and this theater plays kids' movies. So here's what they were showing on our sailing. You had Strange World, Paddington, The Puppet Show, Minions, Wild Robot, Mufasa. They do play some older movies for older kids like Black Panther, Sonic the Hedgehog. And then they have this open play area across from Royal Babies and Tots that you can just go in for free and let your kid play. Then we're going to work our way up to the solarium here. So this hallway is coming out of the stateroom hallway on 14, and this is the first floor of the solarium. And you can walk around, you can see there's loungers. It is partially covered. It's more of a wind block than anything, but because it's not fully covered, it doesn't get as hot and humid as maybe the front of Wonder or Utopia, where it's completely closed off. There's some beautiful, breathtaking views up front here. You can see it's nice and blocked in from the wind. You can just sit there and lounge out. And there's also this infinity hot tub on the next level of solarium that you can get to from the stairwell right there. But one of my favorite parts about the solarium is it's adults only. There are no children. It has multiple hot tubs, its own bar, a solarium bistro, but this one specifically has a skywalk on this deck. So you cut out through here and you're actually walking on top of the bridge where the captain pilots the ship, and you can stand on this piece of glass right here and look down, and you're actually on this piece of glass over the ocean as you're sailing. You can see the waves below you. Pretty cool. And it's another great vista, a great view of the front of the ship. If they're doing an emergency evacuation on the helipad, you can see that from here really well. And the guy down there on the bench is actually staff. Staff is allowed to go out there and hang out when they're not on duty. That bubble we see sticking off the side of the ship over here, I'm going to show you what that is on the next deck. It's actually a hot tub and it's on both sides of the ship, but it's really cool. So let's head back in. So we come back in. You do have bathrooms there, as you can see, but now we're on deck 15, and this is the hub of activity. Your beach, your dive center, bars, your sports courts, your Challengers Arcade, El Loco Fresh, Fuel, the sports course. I mean, everything is up here, as well as the second level of the solarium and the solarium bistro. So let's go check all of that out. You can get to the solarium bistro from inside the elevator area, which is this entrance here. And you walk in, there's a maitre d' there waiting to take you to sit you down. But let's show you what it looks like. So it's actually a buffet, but it's a little less cattle call than the Windjammer. It's a nicer buffet. You actually get seated at a table instead of trying to hunt one down. Then a waiter comes and takes your drink orders and brings you fresh plates and silverware as needed. This is included, guys. Definitely go. Leaving the solarium bistro, as you walk away towards the outside of the ship on either side, you're going to come to that hump on the side of the ship, which is actually not one, but two hot tubs that overhang the side of the ship. It's really cool. You get basically like a 180 view, unobstructed, off the side of the ship. One of my favorite hot tubs to hang out at. And because it's two and not one big one, it actually retains its heat pretty well. You can get to the second level of the solarium through here. Remember, adults only, another nice perk. And while they do have the same loungers, there are also different seating options, like these random daybed kind of ball chairs you can see over here. Now, as we walk this way, you'll come to a hot tub, and there's also going to be this huge crystal structure that you'll see to my right as I pan this way. So here's the first hot tub. And then this crystal structure is actually where the bar is. So the bar is underneath that. And that structure lights up at night, which is really cool. There is your infinity hot tub, so your second hot tub, and here's the entrance to it right here. You can see it's got that glass front. It's really cool. Plenty of seating inside of it. And then, of course, there's one more hot tub on the other side as well. You can see right here where these ladies are enjoying it. So this is a great relaxing space with great views for adults. On either side of the bar, you'll see these cut-throughs in the hedges, and those double doors actually take you into the solarium bistro as well. So you can get food from there and actually bring it out. They don't make you eat it there. And that is the entirety of the solarium. So let's go ahead and head towards the pool deck and go see what we can find out there. As we come back to the pool deck, remember, like I said, both sides have hot tubs overhanging the side of the ship. one of my favorite places. And then starts all your pool loungers, your pool deck. And this is gonna start where the perfect storm is. The perfect storm is their water slide area on board. On this side of the ship, you're gonna have the one single slide that shoots you down into that yellow and green spinny area. The other side has like a racing setup, 2 side-by-side slides. As you can see, there's a hot tub here, and then you have your first pool area over here. There is no pool in the solarium on this ship, so this is going to be one of the 2 pools that's closest to the solarium. But what's really neat about the pools on Oasis class ships is that separating them is this overlook of Central Park. So you can walk to the railing, or if you have one of these chairs, you can actually look out over Central Park. All of those balconies are Central Park balconies. They're going to be much quieter than the Boardwalk balconies, unless it's during the day when they're having pool parties, because you do get a lot of noise, especially these higher ones, from the balconies. You can see the pool has a very shallow area going around 270 degrees of it. That's kind of for kids to just splash in or walk around in. I guess you could sit or lounge in that if you wanted to, and the pool's relatively small. But this is mirrored on the other side of the ship as well, on the other side of Central Park. So I'm not going to walk over there for the sake of time. We're just going to speed this up and keep moving towards the back of the ship. As we head this way, you come to the lifeguard station where you can get help if you need it, the towel station, and then both sides of the ship have a bar right here. So this is your pool deck bar. You can come get drinks, you can come get water, soda, whatever you need. And then just past that, we come to Splashaway Bay. This is some footage of it open. It's a huge kids splash pad area, and it's awesome. They have their own hot tub, but be aware things that come with kids being in hot tubs can happen there. You have these little devices that shoot water, a really small slide there for younger kids. This side is for the potty trained children. There is another little section that you just saw in that last clip for children that are still in swim diapers. But man, what a great free way to let your kids get their energy out and have fun in the water right there. And that other small area you can now see behind the railing there, that's the one for children that are not potty trained yet, that are still using swim diapers. But yeah, Splashaway Bay is epic. I wish all of their ships had a Splashaway Bay. Our daughter loves it. And this is that area for the kids that aren't potty trained. I think it's great that they thought of that and they separated them, so when an accident happens over here, they don't have to close both sides. Continuing our way aft, the next thing we're gonna come to is going to be El Loco Fresh. El Loco Fresh is one of the most popular spots to eat at on the ship. It's free, it's included, they have your hand washing station here, but it is their Mexican restaurant on board. And restaurant is kind of loose, let's just go with eatery, right? It's a bar that you walk down, you can get quesadillas, burritos, tacos, nachos, and they start adding your toppings as you go. You kind of build it as you work your way down the line. And then you come to the topping bar. As you can see, there's tons of hot sauces here, and it's typically just filled to the brim with all the toppings you could want, cheese, jalapenos, and as you can see, there's plenty of seating. Then we get to the sports court area. In the mornings, they do pickleball. They also do soccer, basketball, volleyball, and other sports on the sports courts. What's really nice about the pickleball is that you do have these walls going all the way around, unlike most of the other pickleball courts on board ships. So this keeps the wind at a minimum and makes it very easy to play pickleball on board. However, the baseline is super close to the wall. There's nowhere to back up. So if you have someone serving hard or fast at you, you really have nowhere to go. But as you can see, due to the fact that it's a full-size basketball court, you do get 3 full pickleball courts, which is really nice. So I enjoy playing pickleball when I'm on these ships for those reasons. As we continue away from the sports courts, the first thing we're going to come to is going to be one of the 2 FlowRiders on board. If you've never been on a Royal Caribbean ship, or maybe you don't know what a FlowRider is because you've been on a ship without one, it's their surfing simulator that they have on board. It creates an artificial wave that never ends, and you can just ride it. So there's a seating area like that, and this is what it looks like when it's off. The one on the other side is actually on, so we'll head that way so you can see what it looks like. In between there, you have the wipeout bar, very cleverly named in between the two surfing simulators. And then behind the wipeout bar, this is the entrance to the ultimate abyss that takes you all the way down to the boardwalk. That's that 10-story drop of a slide. Really cool. There is a line sometimes for this, but because there's 2 slides, it does move pretty quickly. It's included, it's free, go do it. Here's your other FlowRider. This is the one that's on, as you can tell. That's what the wave looks like. And right now they're doing private lessons. So this is something that these people paid for, and you can see they're coaching him. He's got a rope and he's standing up. Now you don't have to start standing. Most people start boogie boarding style, laying down, then they go to knee boarding, and eventually you can get to the more advanced sessions where you're standing up and surfing like this. But know that private lessons is an option, just like this family's doing right now. But that's what a FlowRider looks like. As you can see, there is a seating area over here. Normally it's not roped off if it's not private lesson time, but right now it is. Let's continue on. So from the FlowRiders, to my right is the entrance to the zip line, which I'll show you in a minute. But here is the putt-putt golf course on board. I'm not going to walk every hole like I've done before in other videos, but I'm just going to kind of fly through it so you can see. In my opinion, this one was in pretty good shape. You can see that mound that's missing some grass, but overall, I mean, it's in really, really good shape. And it's a lot of course in a very small area. They did a really good job with this design and this layout. Remember, mini golf is another one of those included activities you don't have to pay for. You can come out here at any time, grab a club, grab a ball, go start putting. From there, on the right hand side, this balcony railing here is actually the end of the zip line. Yes, the zip line goes over the boardwalk area. So technically it is 10 stories down if something were to happen. However, nothing's going to happen. You get in a class 3 harness, you're hooked in well, we've checked all the rigging, and Royal Caribbean does a really good job with the safety on this. But you can see you fly over the boardwalk area and you get over here and you end up landing on this little pad here. Zip lining also included, another great free activity you can do on board. Then they have ping pong tables or table tennis, whatever you want to call it, right here. But what's cool is you can see they're also protected from the wind, which is really nice because most ships, they're not protected. They're in a hallway where the wind's pushing the ball around. So another great addition to the sports courts area is the table tennis in a wind protected area. As we come around the corner, those people down there are at the dive shop, and so that's where it's at. Let's move on to deck 16. This is going to have your Windjammer marketplace and kind of just a lounging area around here with a bar or two, and then really hook seafood up front, and that's it. There's nothing else. So let's start with a tour of the Windjammer first. So this is the entrance to the Windjammer. And remember, as we're walking in, this is the main buffet. This is the included buffet other than the Solarium Bistro, but this one is massive. It wraps around the entire back of the ship, and there's tons of dining options here. However, due to its size and just the sheer amount of food, it's not going to be necessarily the highest quality every time. But if you're looking for like hamburgers, you're looking for hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, this is breakfast. So you can see they have your typical breakfast items out there, fried eggs, stuff like that. It's a great place to go. They also have vegetarian options. They have international flavors such as curries or different rice dishes, papadum, all that stuff. You can refill your sodas here with your cups that have the chips in them if you have the beverage package. As always, water, juice, milk, and basic coffee always included no matter where you're at. You don't have to worry about paying for those. This is a big vegetarian area that does have a salmon option as well, more of a bagel bar. There's tofu out here, but as you can see, there's just tons of options in this Windjammer for different types of dining. So if you're looking to eat, but you're not sure what you want, this is a great place to go that's included. You don't have to spend anything extra, and there's tons of seating. This is currently 8:30 in the morning, and as you can see, this is prime breakfast time, and there's nobody here. There's plenty of seating. I will say, typically on embarkation day, as soon as you get on that 11 to 12 o'clock time frame, the Windjammer is always packed. People can't get in their rooms yet. They don't know where to go. So everyone's just sitting around here with their luggage. They don't have their bathing suits on, so they can't get in the pool. But other than that, you can see, I mean, this goes on and on and on, and there's plenty of seating most of the time. So this is a great fly through of the entire Windjammer. As you can see, all of them are labeled Mediterranean, starters, salad bars, just all the different options. So this is what it looks like. This is where it's at, guys. Remember, this is free, included with your fare. So as we work our way out of the Windjammer, we're gonna come out to a sun deck on deck 12. This basically connects the Windjammer to the front elevators where Hooked is. There's not much up here, guys. It's literally a bunch of loungers, some cabanas that Royal Caribbean's calling casitas. You do have an overlook of Splashaway Bay and the third pool over there. And then there is the mast bar on this deck as well. Otherwise, there's nothing else up here. So this is basically just a way to either sunbathe or transit from one end of the ship to the other end of the ship. This is one of those cabanas, if you're wondering what you get with these casitas, this is it. You get a day bed and a couple power outlets there if you want to charge your phone. But that's pretty much it. I've seen about 50% of them used, so I don't think there's a high demand for them. So you can probably get one if you're just dying to have one of those, no big deal. One of my favorite things about this deck is that as we work our way to the middle of it, they actually have this little walkway that will take you to the overlook area, or at least that's what I'm calling it. You can look over the two pools, the two different perfect storms, but also you can look down into Central Park from here. So this is just a really neat spot. And you can see that's that mirrored side of the pool. This is the other side, exactly the same, but then you can look down into Central Park or into those balconies, technically, I would suppose. And if you turn around, you're looking at the third pool with the other hot tub, as well as Splashaway Bay and the other side of Central Park. So just a really cool outlook. But like I said, there's nothing else on this deck other than this overlook area, the sun deck, and the mast bar. That's everything. So as we work our way towards the front of the ship, you can see this is those two hot tubs that stick off the side from below that are open, and you can see them from deck 12. But then we get to head inside. We're gonna get to the elevator lobby, and that is where the entrance to Hook is gonna be. You can't see into the solarium from here, but let's go ahead. We've already toured that. Let's go inside and let's go look at Hooked Seafood. So as you come inside, just off the elevators, this is the entrance to Hooked Seafood. This is their seafood restaurant on board. It is not included. This is a specialty dining restaurant that you have to pay for. And just know it's very seafood heavy. There is nothing on the menu that isn't seafood for adults. However, if somebody in your party doesn't eat seafood, you can let them know and they can try to get something else for you. That's what they did for Amy since she doesn't eat seafood. I thought the branzino here was fantastic. It was actually really, really good. So I recommend trying that if you're not sure what to get. The one thing I will say about Hooked Seafood though, is that it tends to get a little loud in here. Not because of the size, as you can see, it's not that big, but because technically Hooked Seafood is a mezzanine that overlooks the Solarium Bistro. So this is a Solarium Bistro below you, And when that's full, plates are clanging, it's a buffet, people are grabbing stuff, everybody's talking in a buffet style setting, and you're sitting up here in the mezzanine, all that sound's just reverberating and bouncing around and making it very loud up here. They also do have a bar area right here that you can sit at if you don't want to sit at a table, or if you're just a solo cruiser looking to grab a quick meal, you can do that. Here's a sample of their seasonal signature, the baked oysters. But yeah, that's basically all there is to Hooked. There's not much else here. That is their seafood restaurant on board. So I wanted to show you guys the loft suite hallway. I mean, look at this. It is 3 times the size of a normal hallway. But the real reason I brought you here is to show you that this is where the red carpet entrance red door room is for the ultimate family townhouse. And there it is. So if you're curious as to what that looks like, go check out a video. It's an amazing room. So deck 17, other than that hallway, doesn't have much else other than coastal kitchen, the suite lounge, and then you also have the suite deck bar up front. So let's go check out the suite lounge real quick. If you're staying in a suite, or if you're one of the top 25 pinnacles, you can get to the suite lounge or coastal kitchen on board. So this is the suite lounge. It's basically a version of the Crown Lounge, but for people staying in a suite, regardless of their status. You have chairs, you overlook the pool area, and there's also a little area with snacks and a coffee maker. Basically exactly like the Crown Lounge, but with a much better view. Instead of being on deck 4 with no view and a fake balcony, you actually have a real view. Then you have Coastal Kitchen. This is the suite restaurant, only available to people staying on a suite. The menu is the same every single day, but it's included, and a lot of people like going here because it's private, the waiters know you, and the food is high quality, and there's also a coffee bar right there. And the last stop on our tour is the suite sun deck. As you come up, you walk up to the bar there, and you can turn around and overlook. You're right behind the perfect storm, but I mean, look at the pool packed on embarkation day. You have a bunch of lounges here. Most of the time they're actually shaded, as you can tell, by the perfect storm. You get a cool view overlooking the pools and Central Park from here. Then we can walk around the side of the ship, and they have these egg chair loungers again, these beds. You also have other loungers in the back there in the blue that you can see with shade. And then we continue around to where these jacks are. And I don't know what the symbolism of the jacks are, but this is a rubberized floor area where you can watch sailing away or coming into port unobstructed views at the front of the ship, which is really nice. Because this was out of New Jersey, obviously we're looking across the way there. You can see the Statue of Liberty, you can see Manhattan, really cool. And I personally like coming up here for sailaways because the views are some of the best, like you're gonna see now. You're looking down over the solarium, but more importantly, when you start to sail out, you're at the very front of the ship with nothing in front of you. It's just wide open. So when you get to go through cool places or you're coming into a cool port, there's nothing blocking your view. You get perfect pictures, perfect camera angles, perfect vistas. Like this is us heading towards a bridge. We actually get to go like right underneath this where it looks like your ship's just not gonna fit, but somehow it does. It's just a neat experience. You'll see here, we get super close, and this is deck 17, but as you turn around, you'll see that it's actually much tighter than it looks. And that's not even the tallest part of the ship. The smokestacks are actually the tallest part, and they're made to retract like this to fit underneath the bridge. And it's just a really awesome, ingenuitive design that they've done to be able to fit under bridges like this. So shout out to Royal Caribbean for something so cool. Definitely recommend coming to see that if you get a chance. Wow. Well, believe it or not, this is the end of the video. We made it together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this tour of Symphony of the Seas. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I truly appreciate you guys. And as always, you can use the QR code here to have Amy book the perfect cruise on the perfect itinerary for you. Links to Amy's turnkeytravel.com are in the description down below. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one.